Ah, there you are. Glad you could make it. I can be cordial when the moment calls for it. No need to bare your teeth tonight. This is neutral territory, after all.
For now, at least. That's right. Unless we can all come to an arrangement tonight, then this place may not remain neutral for long. With everything that's going on, it's only a matter of time before the places we can quietly communicate become fewer.
Relax. The night's only just begun. We don't need to rush to the negotiation table just yet. Why don't you, sit down and settle in for now? Would you like a drink? Oh, don't give me that look. Tonight's too important to ruin it by being greedy. Go on, take a seat.
Indeed. We all have a stake in this now. Ever since that upstart came in and started carving off chunks of our territory, the rest of us have been struggling to maintain our own.
You're telling me. It's been hell trying to make sure that Vulture's lapdogs don't get anywhere near my men. Here, over ice for you.
Might as well bring the bottle over. I have a feeling the night ahead of us will be pretty long. Oh, I know so. We have many things we need to discuss after you finish relaxing, or whatever it is you're doing to appease that guy.
Well, that guy is just trying to lighten the mood. What better way to start an evening of business than with a drink and some small conversation? Ignore him. He's cranky that I managed to get here first.
I'm not so superficial as to think of this gathering like some sort of race. This isn't the tortoise and the hare, despite the ears on your head insinuating otherwise.
Well, I'm glad it isn't. If I recall, the hare lost that race.
You're being cheeky.
And you're being cute. My apologies. I can't help it. Just look at us. The three of us clearly are the most attractive leaders this city has. 3 practical sex gods in one place.
While I won't deny that, our looks will not do us any good against...
We know. Ugh, you're so serious sometimes. It's no wonder why you never host any social parties. The dance floor would be so cold.
You'd be surprised. A challenge. Well then, if tonight goes well enough, perhaps I'll find a way to make both of you eat your words.
See? Isn't it so much more fun talking like this? It almost makes me wonder why we didn't do this sooner. Oh, I know. You don't have to say it. It's really clear why.
Not many people would look kindly on our group's linking arms unless it was for a good reason. With this new 4th player, now we have it.
So, speaking of our mutual, annoyance, perhaps we should discuss what we each had in mind for dealing with them. Perhaps one of us has the ace. We need to make this quick and easy. Do you have anything in mind? The most attractive one always goes first, after all. You got no ideas. That's fair, I guess. They've only recently been cozying up in your territory, right?
I had a couple of ideas myself, but with how comfy they are with law enforcement, it would be fairly difficult to get them done without a couple of unneeded casualties and unwanted eyes on my businesses.
Another fair point. How did that vulture get those pigs in their pocket? Oh, so the rumor was true. They must have plenty of old money to play with if they can buy out multiple stations.
You're right. Old money doesn't last. So we have to either empty that little vault faster, somehow, or find a way to push back until it does on its own. I know you have enough reach to incite some costly distractions for our mutual aggravation. All of us do, really. Would you be willing to use that power as such, if it came down to it?
Hold on. Going a little too fast there.
Oh, forgive me, but I was under the impression that you liked fast.
Oh, I will absolutely not deny that. Regardless, though, we haven't even established our agreements with each other. It's fairly clear that we all have to work together to get the situation under control, so let's rewind a bit and get that settled first, okay?
Of course. Are there any outstanding terms that need addressing before we will agree to this truce? Good call. Despite this being an alliance, we shouldn't lose track of who owns what.
Without question. I don't think we need to bring out a map, but I will maintain the southern cup of the city during and after this truce.
And I will keep my claim of the north side. You have your borders around the east city and the docks. Those areas will remain yours.
I assume the central zone remains in neutral territory. Very well. At least we don't have to fight about that.
Neutral points are necessary in keeping balance and control. Though, if everything were under one family...
I called you cute before, but you're not that cute to slide that without resistance.
Wishful thinking, nothing more. Forgive me. For now. You're quite cruel under that pretty face, aren't you?
Aren't they? To think such a criminal mastermind would be so gorgeous. Oh. I've always admired how you handle business like a maestro with a symphony. Every note perfectly in tune.
Flattery will get you everywhere, Roy. But we all know it takes more than charm to keep the peace around here.
Oh, I'm not just talking about charm, Xander. I mean, look at you. Debonair, ruthless, and with a reputation that can make the devil blush.
What about you? The way you've been moving in on my territory. It's almost like you're trying to steal the show yourself. I don't think you can hide your movements from me now that we're at the negotiating table.
Oh, you know me better than anyone. Just trying to keep things interesting. Besides, you know I've always had a taste for the finer things. Hey, what can I say? Chaos can be, alluring.
There is some merit to that. But sometimes a little order is necessary. We wouldn't want chaos to rule this city now, would we? I'm glad you agree.
Still, we shouldn't forget, sometimes it's the quiet ones who hold the most cards in their hand. Of course I'm talking about you.
That is quite enough derailing, as fun as it may be. Our treaty.
All right. We all know the city's been getting restless due to this fourth pain in the ass. It might be in our best interest to play nice for a while, regardless of whether or not we toe each other's lines.
But a truce means trust, and trust is a luxury in our little corner of the world. How do we ensure this won't fall apart? Oh, boundaries of operations. That's fair. We did establish borders, so it would be smart to make sure we didn't get in each other's way.
Well, that's easy to settle. You two stay out of my operations. I stay out of yours, and we all keep the heat off each other while focusing subterfuge on our mutual enemy. Wow. Well, a little sabotage here, a little evidence planting there. A witness or two would help things, but it's all about keeping this clean and organized. Wouldn't want eyes to get on us for any reason.
Not to bring about pessimism, but what happens after we remove the problem from the board? We all know that once the dust settles, it's back to business as usual. Cooperation? You'll have to be more specific than that.
I see what you mean. A little cooperation amongst each other on our biggest projects. Share resources, maybe. Imagine what we could accomplish with our combined influence.
We could potentially knock our opponent down a few pegs if we have our men work together on the streets. The fewer scuffles we have between our men, the more focus will go on to scrutinizing our opponent when they fumble. It's quite the idea. Enforcing mutual stability.
Stability, huh? I do prefer a city where we're all thriving rather than seeing it as a battlefield. It's less, messy, and keeps the authorities at bay. Next steps, huh? Well, since we're all in agreement to play nice, we need to figure out how to play dirty against that snake in the west.
A little misdirection could go a long way. While they're distracted by our supposed truce, we can set the stage. What do I have in mind? We create a few accidents for his shipments, rattle his men with the combined force of 3 families.
Oh, I like where this is going. We can play the good neighbors, offering them peace talks while we pull the rug out from under them.
Exactly. We let them think they're in control while we chip away at their power. By the time they realize what's happening, it'll be too late. You're right. We must be cautious with each push.
Very true. They've got quite the temper from what I hear, and when cornered, they can be dangerous. I'm certain we can all hold our own in a fight, but it would be best to keep one step ahead regardless.
And we'll need our resources lined up. I can mobilize my men on the streets to create the right distractions.
And I'll ensure we have eyes on his operations. If he makes one wrong move, we'll capitalize on it. Oh, you take the innocent route of offering our fake olive branch? Oh, you're quite bold.
Truthfully, I can't think of any other person at this table who would be a better fit for that. That snake barely knows you, so they won't be as hostile as they would be with either me or Roy. Plus, your charisma is quite fetching and would make the perfect bait.
You know, if I didn't know any better, I'd say this little alliance is bringing out your charming side, Zanny. You've got that spark in your eye, like you're planning something devilish after this operation and truce is over.
Oh, me? Never. But if you keep flattering me, I might just start to believe I'm irresistible to you, and take advantage of that. Bold of me? Would I be where I am without such? I may be cold in business, but I do know the benefits of charm.
Oh, don't play ignorant. I've seen the way people react to you walking in a room. It's like watching a moth drawn to a flame sometimes.
Oh, so you do pay attention to me.
As much as you do me. Is the back and forth we're having bothering you?
Or are you simply jealous? I do think I sense a hint of jealousy. Was the affectionate shower Roy gave you before not enough?
I mean, who wouldn't want to be showered with compliments? I wasn't lying when I said we 3 were the most attractive leaders in the city. All of us have to have some small love for the spotlight to get things done while looking as good as we do.
Fair. Still, there's a unique thrill in being the quiet one at the table, I'm sure. It's almost a little dangerous.
And danger is sexy, but it's confidence that really makes dogs out of people. A perfect wink and smile and the right suckers would eat out of the palm of your hand with a please and thank you.
All of us have that confidence, clearly. I wonder how that will affect our alliance going forward. What do I mean? Imagine we hold this alliance for longer than expected. We may even grow to appreciate each other more than ever down the line.
Oh, that's a cute idea. But let's be real. This is a temporary alliance. I'm more than happy to share respect and admiration, but I don't like sharing territories for longer than needed.
Oh, that's quite a shame. I rather like the idea of expanding on this treaty once things are settled. We'll have to return anyway to divide that vulture's territory once we kick them out.
Fair point. I feel like we can all agree to that. When the time comes, we can divide things out in a fair measure. Certain. Fair to be cautious, but that won't be the reason this truce ends in a tragedy. I've got too much at stake.
I agree. An even split is fair enough, though that may be an interesting divide, as we 3 control different compassed slices of the city.
That's a fair point, huh? You're right. Let's leave that discussion for when we remove the stain from our city, eh? I quite like that idea.
Then let's toast to a truce, a partnership, if you will. Though it may be temporary, it will be strong enough to force away all who oppose us.
To a united front. A reminder that we're still the wolves in this henhouse. Is the metaphor not true, though? The city's full of chickens, clucking at every squabble amongst themselves. We wolves are natural predators, so the analogy is perfect.
The metaphor is a bit more insidious than that. But right now, we're the wolves looking out for each other, at the very least. Let's make this work. As long as we keep our cards close, we should be fine.
To the captivating dance we're about to undertake. May it be as deadly to our foes as it is beautiful to us. Just remember, keep your moves sharp. When this is over, we'll have to celebrate. Just the three of us. Maybe in a more, relaxed setting.
Oh, I quite like that proposal. I can think of a few places we could really enjoy ourselves. Oh, I do. And they are all in neutral territory.
Oh, how considerate.
Oh, not at all. Merely courtesy. You both have shown how civil you can be at this table, so I see no issue in providing options for celebration that won't have us change our tone.
All right. Just remember, I don't play fair when it comes to a good time.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of it.
Smart man.